Hello, good evening. It's 9 o'clock here in Djibouti and welcome in this new edition of this Monday 14 December. As top stories tonight we have the President of the National Assembly at Ar-Rahma Hospital Complex for an inspection visit. In Ethiopia, the construction of Mojo-Mekia Expressway, which is to be built with the cost of 3.6 billion birr. Thank you for joining us and you watching live RTD's New. The head of state, Ismail Omar Guelleh, congratulated his French counterpart. The head of state has addressed following the adoption of the international agreement in the fight against global warming, who took place yesterday in the city of Paris. His prior thanks to his French counterpart, François Hollande, for the facilitation he put in place for humanity in the context of the COP21 for the achievement of a consensus on this global problem. In his message, the Djiboutian head of state has also congratulated President Hollande for his personal effort and for the effectiveness of the French diplomacy, which has allowed the achievement of a consensus around a sustainable, balanced, differentiated and binding text in which every country has made an agreement. The head of state has ended his messages by stating that his country will seek to implement the signature of this agreement at the headquarters of the United Nations.
And concerning the international level, a high-level parliamentary delegation led by the President of the National Assembly, Mr. Mohammed Ali Ahmed, has made an inspection visit to the Al-Rahma Complex for Development located in Balbala. At the arrival, the parliamentary delegation was hosted by the regional director of the African Committee of the Kuwait State and representative of Al-Rahma International, Mr. Abdul Hanan Al-Khurafi, the director of the complex, Dr. Abdullah Fatouh, as well as the administrative committee director, Mr. Khaled Abu Harraj. The parliamentary delegation has started his visit at the school of the complex, which includes the primary and secondary studies. Then the parliamentary delegation visited the industrial school as well as the library. The parliamentary delegation has appreciated the activities. Then the parliamentarian delegation led by the President of the National Assembly, Mohammed Ali Ahmed, has visited all the technical centers. The President of the National Assembly has said looks forward to the quality of the product manufactured by the Industrial School of Ar-Rahma.
Then the parliamentary delegation led by the President of the National Assembly visited the Ar-Rahma Hospital, who offered different health services. The delegation was greeted on their arrival by the Regional Director of Ar-Rahma African Relief Committee, Abdul Ghani Al-Quraishi, and the Director of the hospital, Dr. Mohammed Al-Sharqawi. The delegation has visited the room of pediatrics, eyes patient, the laboratory, the general medicines, and so on. The delegation also visited the operation room, the center of hospitalization, as well as the intensive care services. In an interview granted to the national television, the regional director of the Committee of African Emergency of the Kuwait State has stressed the importance of the President of the National Assembly and the parliamentary visit, which is the first of its kind. He welcomed the unwavering support of the head of state, Ismail Omar Guelleh, who always strengthened the humanitarian actions.
The President of the National Assembly, Mr. Mohammed Ali Ahmed, has wished, therefore, to inform users of these centers that they have at their disposal a center which is its level, which meets the medical needs, and this center is a pride for all of us. First, for having such a center in the Republic of Djibouti, I want to urge the Djiboutian who have of users of healthcare to take the example of this center. He has welcomed the initiative of the Minister of Health. The initiative has sponsored the different health centers by the parliamentarian.
Economy now. The annual review meeting between the government of Djibouti and the UNDP office in Djibouti has been held today at the conference hall of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation. This meeting has been jointly presided by the Ministry of Delegate at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in charge of International Cooperation, Ahmed Ali Sillai, and the UNDP resident representative and resident coordinator of the operational activities of the United Nations system, Valerie Cliff. The General Secretaries of the various ministerial department, project director and responsible of the management unit took part at this meeting. The objective of this meeting was to make a balance sheet activities, results achieved and available resources. As well, it was an in-depth look at the implementation of the project identified by component and the progress made toward the achievement of program results UNDP country. This review exercise was an opportunity to discuss and exchange views on the constraints encountered with the issues and challenges, as well as opportunities, risks, and the prospect for the next cycle. In a word of introduction, the UNDP resident representative and resident of United Nations Operational Activity System Coordinator, Valerie Cliff, was proud to take part at this 2015 annual review.
The Minister Delegate at the Minister of Foreign Affairs in charge of international cooperation, Mr. Ahmed Ali Sillai, said it is important to recall that the UNDP plan of action is the result of an interactive process that has brought together actors involved in development in Djibouti, as well as the focal point of national sectorial department, in close collaboration with the governmental agency for coordination and the Department of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation. These documents constitute a reference which the joint implementation of the progress of the sectoral program supported by the Office of the UNDP is the fruit of a joint commitment of the government of Djibouti and of UNDP to achieve the objective of socio-economic development based on national priority and the objectives of sustainable development. At the end of this meeting, the sectoral department and UNDP will learn from the activities of strengthening of competence and capacity development of realization.
News released now from the Foreign Affairs Ministry following his meeting with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia Embassy in charge of affairs. Today, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Mohammed Ali Yusuf, is urging the Djiboutian businessmen that the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia has put in place a mechanism to facilitate the granting of commercial visa within the 24 hours. The latter must submit to the embassy the invitation of their Saudi trading partners in order to obtain the visa in the 24 hours. The minister takes this opportunity to thank the servant of the two holy places, his government and the embassy of the Saudi Kingdom in Djibouti for this gesture.
The Minister of Economy and Finance in charge of the industry, Mr. Ilyasa Musa Dawale, has received this morning in his cabinet the public partners and private to the project to put in place the legal and institutional framework of the public-private partners. This meeting was held in the presence of the Minister of Equipment and Transport, Mr. Musa Ahmed Hassan, the representative of the World Bank in Djibouti, Hona Zora Futuhi, as well as the French Development Agency. The Minister of Economy and Finance, in charge of industry, has sought the support of the World Bank and the French Agency for Development for establishing the general framework of public and private partnership, and in order to carry out infrastructure projects to ensure the public service mission and more widely to innovate in the context of effort to revive the economy, the public-private partners are concerned as instrument of relevance for the structural development has long-term infrastructure and service of the fact that they allow you to benefit at the time of the benefit of sector private, those of the public sectors. The objective of this meeting is the definition and the adoption of the strategy for introduction of public-private partners in Djibouti and putting a high priority the telecommunication, energy, transport, sectors.
And still on the national news, a ceremony of reception of vehicles and military equipment granted by the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to the Djiboutian Coast Guard was held this morning at the fishing port. The ceremony, under the patronage of the Transport and Equipment Minister Musa Ahmed Hassan, has brings together on the spot the commander of the Coast Guard, Colonel Umar Bokolwi, the heads of National Security Hassan Khairi, the Embassy of Saudi Arabia in charge of affairs Hassan bin Mohammed Al Ahmari, as well as Colonel Khalil bin Abdulaziz Al Nasser, the Saudi Arabia Border Coast Guard. The reception of 5 patrol boats on last August offered by the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. These 10 vehicles and military equipment come as well to strengthen the means of land transport and other equipment to the Djiboutian Coast Guard. The official ceremony of reception of these donations has enabled the commander of the Coast Guard to express his satisfaction to the support of Saudi Arabia Kingdom for this gift, which will only increase the operational capacity of its institution. Above the donors, and particularly the support of the Saudi Arabia Embassy in charge of affairs, has reminded us that this donation also following the recent displacement of the head of state. This gift comes as well to further strengthen the relation between the two countries, a relationship which exists for more than 4 years.
The Minister of Transport, Musa Ahmed Hassan, has underlined in his intervention the support of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to the Republic of Djibouti. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia has undertaken to participate in the effort of the Republic of Djibouti aimed to strengthen the security and the safety of the maritime strait Bab el-Mandeb and the Gulf of Aden in general, as witness the 5 patrol boats of rapid interception already granted in August 2015, which today constitute a reactive effort which met the needs of always having a lens of the actions of the criminal who operate at the sea. The support of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, who joined the support of our other partners such as Japan, the United States, European Union, and Chinese, is also materialized through training at the officers, sub-officers, drivers, and mechanics of the Coast Guard have done as the Naval Academy Mohammed bin Naif located at Jeddah in order to fully exploit the benefit offered by the new patrol boat. This cooperation in the field of the training raised the milestone of a strategy partnership in the long term to train competent personnel skill, whose needs the care of Djiboutian side to achieve the goals set by the government.
And after the official speech, it has been carried out at the front desk of official vehicles and military equipment. The Minister of Equipment and Transport, the commander of the Coast Guard, and the support of the Saudi Embassy in charge of affairs in Djibouti have proceeded to the traditional cut of ribbon that marked the ceremony of reception of vehicles and military equipment. There is in fact the 15 land cruiser, pickup, and 10 tanker truck for the transport of the fuel and water. This added the effect military component of 1,000 and 1,000 shoes, as well as 1,000 pack bag.
The Department of Energy, responsible for the natural resources, is bringing to the attention of the public that in accordance with the law C at the implementation decrees note 153 defining the retention and privacy terms for granting licenses to the distribution of hydrocarbon distribution companies of petroleum products not having respected the condition will not see their reviewed licenses. In the course of the year 2015, it was found validation of the provision of the legislation in force from following 3 companies: Emir Oil, ESIG, and Djibouti Petroleum. From January 1st, 2015, the licenses of holding of these above mentioned companies are concealed.
Health now. The Ministry of Health through the Directorate of Region as well as Directorate of Medicines of Chemistry has proceeded today to the verification of the distribution monthly allocation medicines in 5 health center community in Balbala along with the representative of the civil society of each neighborhood. This distribution of medicines has been done within the presence of the new Director of Health Region Asawi Abdullah Asawi and the Director of Chemistry and Medicine Salah Umar Abdullah and the Director of the Central Society of Medicine Dr. Ahsan Abdurrahman with all doctors of each health center of Balbala. The objective of this visit by the Executive of the Ministry of Health is to done a follow-up to the proper use and the organization of community pharmacies which are located in the community health center and the management of medicine. This consists also has put in place a coordination of the central level with the health center and the community of each neighborhood who must be involved in the management of the center as well as at all levels. The priority of the Ministry of Health is to provide quality care to the population on the whole of the region and to involve all the stakeholders, namely the civil society, electing the operation and management of all levels of the health structure.
A workshop was opened on the occasion of the opening of environmental education for teachers of Arabic-speaking private school was held today at the People's Palace. Environmental education is conceived as in a process in which individuals become aware of their environmental by transmitting the knowledge, the experience, and also the willingness which will allow them to act individually and collectively to overcome the phenomena which destroy the environment. Main resources of life were present at the Director of the Environment, Mr. Abdul Qadir Ahmed Awlad, the Technical Advisor of the Ministry of Environment, and representative of the Persgar region, as well as the teachers of Arabic-speaking schools. This workshop is logical continuation of the process of awareness and training of teachers on the concept of environmental education and on the contents of the kit and school of the marine environment and coastal region, Red Sea and Gulf of Aden. In Monday, December 14, 2015, the National Red Crescent Society of Djibouti has organized a dissemination workshop on the values and principles of the Red Crescent Djiboutian in the presence of the President of the Regional Council of Arta, Mr. Umar Jama Odowa, and the Assistant Warden of the Regions of Arta, Mr. Mohammed Fouzi Ahmed. In addition, the local authority representative of the civil society of the town of Arta and members of the military academy of Arta have participated in this workshop, whose objective was to consolidate the link between the Red Crescent of Djibouti and the decentralized service of the region of Arta in order to work together in the promotion of the assistance and humanitarian protection throughout the branch regional. A very large numbers of volunteers have participated in this workshop to raise awareness and provide information, and have affirmed their determination to work voluntarily to the strengthening of the branch in its program of localization.
Obituary now a great thought to our colleague Ali Barkhad Siraj, the edition director of the well-known newspaper La Nation, who has lost his brother, the late Hassan Barkhad Siraj. The late died this afternoon in the Jora. He was born on March 25, 1975. The late leaves behind him a widow. The whole staff of the Communication Ministry in charge of post and telecommunication, as well as the family of the written and audiovisual media, address their deepest and heartfelt condolences to the family and relative of the late. May the Almighty grant him his eternal paradise. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. In the regional scene now in Ethiopia, the construction of Mojo-Meke Expressway, which is to be built with the cost of 3.6 billion birr, will be started tomorrow. Ethiopian Road Authority Public Relations head Samson Wodimu told ABC that the expressway is part of a 202 kilometers Mojo-Awasa route. This expressway covers 57 kilometers and will give charge-free services after completion. Explains in this report.
Speaking on the groundbreaking ceremony of the construction of the expressway, Prime Minister Haile Mariam Desalegn said that the construction of the expressway would play a crucial role in accelerating the economic growth of the nation and the surrounding areas by connecting major towns and would facilitate the smooth flow of import-export of commodities. The Prime Minister noted that the construction of the expressway contributes to the economic development of Oromia and South Ethiopia regional state in the 5-year plan period. The construction of the expressway that's sketched for 202 kilometers will be carried out in 4 phases, and the construction of Mojo-Meki sections, which cover 56.8 kilometers, will be the first. The contract of the construction of the Mojo-Meki section will be undertaken by China Railway 7th Group, with 3.6 billion being covered by the Ethiopian government and loan secured from the African Development Bank. The Premier said that the construction of the expressway will help to reduce costs and enhance effort underway to promote agro-industry and the expansion of industrial parks in the areas covered by the expressway. Ethiopia is engaged in the construction of this expressway as part of the regional road development that's sketched to Kenya. Transport Minister Workinet Gabriyehu said that the road is part of the efforts underway to ensure sustainable economic and social development with neighboring countries by getting connected with standardized road networks. It would have an immense role in quickly exporting product and imported commodities to different parts of the country.
Gambia's president has declared the West African countries an Islamic republic, saying the decision was made because Islam is the religion of most citizens and the nation must break away from its colonial past. Let's see with more detail.
Gambia President Yahya Jammeh has declared his Muslim majority country an Islamic republic, saying the move marks a break with the colonial past. Mr. Jammeh told the proclamation was in line with Gambia's religious identity and values. He added that no dress code would be imposed and citizens of other faiths would be allowed to practice freely. Some 90% of Gambians are Muslim. The former British colony economy relies heavily on tourism. However, relations with the West have soared recently. The European Union temporarily withheld aid money to Gambia last year over its poor human rights record. Mr. Jammeh has been president of this tiny West Africa country for over 21 years. Muslims are the majority in the country. The Gambians cannot afford to continue the colonial legacy, Mr. Jammeh told, explaining his decision to proclaim an Islamic republic. Other Islamic republics include Iran, Pakistan in Africa, Mauritania. Mr. Jammeh withdrew Gambia from the Commonwealth in 2013, describing the organization as neo-colonial. In 2007, he claimed to have found an herbal cure for AIDS.
The Chinese-German relations are facing new development opportunities and are expected to continue stable development at a high level and to play a leading role in China-Europe ties, reports.
Chinese Premier Li Keqiang suggested establishing an intergovernmental mechanism to coordinate development strategies between China and Germany. These suggestions were made during his talk with German Chancellor Angela Merkel on Thursday. We need to learn advanced technology and concepts from Germany, Li said at the opening remarks of their talk, adding that China offers a big market, European economic power. We are looking at ways to connect Germany Industry 4.0 with China's industrial upgrading program called Made in China 2025. He said, "We believe Germany can make use of China's huge market and high-skilled, educated workforce, while China will benefit from German cutting-edge technologies under the basis that we respect their intellectual property rights. China is promoting its Made in China 2025 strategies, while Germany has put forward its Industry 4.0 strategy to integrate conventional industry and information technology." His remarks were echoed by Merkel, and the Chancellor welcomed the establishment of a free trade zone between China and the European Union. Merkel said that Germany hopes China and the European Union will sign a bilateral investment agreement at the early dates. It will be a significant prerequisite for a future China-EU free trade agreements.
Now about the pickpocket hero, thief service worker from Metro Tracks after robbing him. French authorities have released footage from the Paris metro this week that has left people to wonder over what is that makes us human. The footage aired by France 5 on December 8 shows the change in character of a pocket who, after robbing a sleeping man, returned a short while later to rescue him after he sleepwalks on the metro tracks. After spotting a man asleep while waiting for a train, an opportunistic pickpocket approached his victims and then pilfered a number of items from the man's pocket before fleeing the scene. Shortly after the younger victim's rescue to his first still asleep and started to stumble towards a platform edge. Another bystander watched by does nothing to stop the sleepwalkers from falling onto the tracks. Bystander simply turns his back and walks away. A train then pulls into the station, narrowly missing the man on the tracks. In an unlikely turn of events, it is the pickpocket who rushes back to the scene to help the man off the track. This is the end of the news. Thank you for your attention.